Now the Strymon Iridium is cool, but there's one type of pedal that makes it even cooler. There's just one type of pedal that I'm gonna use no matter what the type of song, no matter what the genre, and that pedal is this. The Ibanez Tube Screamer TS808, and this one is the Keeley modded one. In this video, I wanna show you what the Keeley modded TS808 can do and why it's my always on pedal. So if you watched any of the videos here on my channel, you know that I'm a big Strymon Iridium user. It's got everything from a Fender Deluxe Reverb to a Vox AC30, and those are pretty much the two that I use all the time. There's one thing about this pedal that I need a little help with. You can let me know in the comments if you've used this one as well. But this drive knob that they have on the Strymon Iridium, I seem to only use it in two different positions. If I'm on a Fender Deluxe Reverb and I want it to have a little bit of breakup, I actually have this drive knob all the way up, which seems a little too much. And if I want a clean Fender Deluxe Reverb, I actually have it like about 70%, maybe around 80. So last year, my wife surprised me by getting me this Keeley modded TS808 from Ibanez. She picked this one out because Mick from That Pedal Show, he mentioned this as one of his desert island pedals. This is a pedal that he goes back to over and over and over again. And there's some rarity to it because he mentioned that you can pretty much only find this on the used marketplace. Now, like I said earlier, I use this pedal literally all the time. Now, most of this video is my personal opinion, but to me, when you take something like a digital emulation of an amp that's in a pedal like this, and you pair it with a little bit of crunch from something classic like an Ibanez Tube Screamer, it seems to be the match made in heaven. Now, every complication I'm having with the drive knob on the Iridium, I can compensate for that with this Tube Screamer. Now the knobs on the TS808 are very simple. It has a distortion knob, a tone knob, and a level knob. Most of the time I'm gonna set the level to be consistent. I'll play with the distortion knob, sometimes all the way off, sometimes in medium, and then sometimes just all the way up. And then I'll use the tone knob to make the guitar sound a little bit darker or a little bit brighter. Here's a few of my favorite settings featuring the Strymon Iridium on the Deluxe Reverb setting. Now, when it comes to the audio world, we're actually living through quite the phenomenon right now. Audio plugins and gear are actually boasting not just in how clean they are, but they're adding knobs and things to actually dirty up the sound. So digital audio is cleaner than it has ever been, and people are actually wanting to insert dirt or insert some artifacts to our music and to our audio to actually dirty up the sound. So if you have something like a digital amp, like the Strymon Iridium or a Kemper, you're probably finding yourself trying to muck up the sound so that it actually sounds real. Now, I think that's the strength of the Strymon Iridium. Most guitar players, when you venture into this territory, having come from real tube amps in the past, you're gonna find that it actually sounds more like a recorded sound rather than something that you're used to hearing like in your bedroom. They've compensated for this by adding what's called the room knob, gives it a sense of space. But like I said, in this video, it's mainly that drive setting. It's trying to add distortion to your sound. They definitely recommend with the Strymon Iridium, add some pedals before. So your pedal board could be vast and extensive, and then you insert the Strymon Iridium. But if you're like me and you're kind of a minimalist, if all you're using is the Strymon Iridium, you definitely want to find some sort of overdrive, something that's going to saturate and kind of muck up the sound, if you will. As you notice, the Ibanez Tube Screamer, the TS808, the Keeley modded one, it does what tube screamers often do best. They emphasize a lot of mid-range, so you gotta be mindful of that as you're going forward, but it introduces all of that lovely dirt that we need to muck up our sound just a little bit. From the folks over at Keeley, what they say is this pedal is now the culmination of many ideas and modifications. Every component added is of highest quality. There are metal film resistors in the circuit to improve the signal to noise ratio many guitarists desire. Film capacitors are used in the tone section to provide the smoothest mid-range and high frequency components to your tone while increasing the bass response of the pedal. So what Keeley's getting at, it's all the lovely goodness that you're used to getting from a TS808 and then some. Now when it comes to noise with the TS808, I can only imagine that the original added quite a bit of what you commonly hear with like a Boss pedal or any more affordable guitar pedals. I've not noticed anything noise related that keeps me from recording the way that I want to record or playing the way that I want to play. This thing is as pristine as it gets. Which brings me to a point, there's two different types of dirt out there. There's the unwanted dirt. Nobody really likes the sound of some grounding issues on your components. The dirt that we're aiming for is a lot of the harmonic distortion that gets added from different analog components in your signal path. Because of pedals like this, I'm actually a huge fan of modded gear when it comes to audio stuff. I just want to make sure that I'm not the one doing the modding. I've given it a try myself. If you could have a professional do it or somebody like the folks over at Keeley, I say go for it every time because it really just elevates these classic components, just takes them to a different level. This video is not sponsored by the folks at Keeley or Strymon, anything like that. I'm just a guitar player and I enjoy making videos just like this. If you're a guitar player and looking for tips and advice going forward, I want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit the like button and I'll be seeing you next time here on the channel. Thanks for watching.